My name is Steve. Welcome to Shark River Machine. In this video, I'm going to start on a project for Keith Fenner's What's in Your Box Toolbox giveaway. I've actually already worked on one project. I'm going to be making these brass hammers. Anybody that's following my YouTube site has probably already seen them. I have a video up of the construction of the brass hammers, and I've got heads made up to do at least 8 more, and I'm going to be sending a few off to the toolbox giveaway. The other project that I'm going to work on, and the subject of this video, is a tap wrench. Now, those of you that follow Emma on Emma's Spare Room Machine Shop knows that she's making a small tap wrench based on the Starrett that was made by Mr. Pete. And I was going to do the same thing, and we got together and I decided, well, I said, you go ahead and make yours and I'll find a different one. And at a recent flea market that I was at, I found this tap wrench that I really like. It appears to be shop made, and of course it's a little bit larger. Probably be good for taps up to 5/16, maybe even 3/8. So I'm going to be making this in this project. I got myself a piece of 3/4 inch stress proof that I'm going to make the main body out of. And if I cut them correctly, I've got enough material to make 5 tap wrenches. Before we start on that, I just want to give a shout out to a couple of people. I received my Randy Richards stainless steel scribe. I got the stainless with the hex handle, keep it from rolling away. I gotta tell you, it's a great scribe. I love it. I've got several different scribes and I always reach for this one now. I also received a couple of stickers from Tom's Lickman at Inspiration Metalworks, and I've already actually put one of them up on my board. And Gary Q from Tools for Machines. I got stickers from him. I've got one of them up on my board. And I also got one from Lance, Bundy Bear's Shed from Down Under. And that one I had actually gotten a while ago, but this is the first time I've had a chance to show it off. I have my own for Shark River Machine. If you're interested, just private message me, or you can email me. I'll put my email address in the description. You can email me and I'll put them in the mail for you. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is face off the ends and center drill them. Since I don't have a steady rest, you got to just take very light cuts. The order of operations on this project is relatively critical because of the fact that there's such a small through hole in this lathe, and I'm working with 3/4 inch stock, so I don't have a steady rest. So once I get them all faced off and center drilled, I'm going to finish them off to final length, and then I can start to cut down the diameter. And once I get the diameter of the ends down, then I'll be able to stick it through the center hole of the chuck and be able to do some heavier cuts on it. The first diameter that I need to turn is this outside diameter here, and that is 700 thousandths. So I'm turning them all to 700 thousandths first. The material is 750 thousandths, so I'm taking just about a 50 thousandths cut on it. Doing it in one, I'm leaving a few thousandths for a finishing cut. Right on the money, 700 thousandths. I've been fighting a little bit of taper on this, and I'm getting it back in pretty close. But since my 700 thousandths is going to be right in the middle, I'm good right there, no problem. And as I cut each one, I'm adjusting the taper out of it. I'm down to a couple of thousandths now in the length. So I'll get it dialed in. I've turned all of the pieces down to 700 thousandths now, which is this width here. That's the maximum diameter of the piece. Now the next diameter that I'm going to turn down is for this threaded portion here. And that's going to be turned down to a 1/2 inch. So I'll be doing a 1/2 inch two inches in. So I'll be doing a 1/2 inch from here to here. And then I will be turning this section from here to here down to 417, and then after that I need to drill it. So that's going to be the next series of operations. I'm also going to cut this radius here. I've got a 10 millimeter round carbide insert that I'm using to cut that radius in there and blend it in. My final cut should be 20 thousandths. Okay, I'm at 505 thousandths, so my last cut, the finishing cut, will be 5 thousandths. Okay, that's good. Okay, my next cut is going to be 5/8 of an inch in from the end. This section stays at a 1/2 inch, and it's going to be threaded, and then this section in here will be cut down to 4/17. $4.17 on the money. And then my next operation is going to be to cut the radius on this, and I have a 10 millimeter round carbide bit. I made up a tool holder. Now the dimension I've got, it's not a critical dimension, but I'm going to be cutting that radius to about 1/4 inch in from that edge. So I'll be working that and then blending it in. Okay, that looks good. At this point, I can take the piece out of the lathe and turn it around, and the end of it is small enough that it'll fit up inside the spindle of the lathe, so I can do the balance of it. I'll be cutting this down to about the 4/17 diameter approximately. The first diameter I'm going to cut it down to is 1/2 inch. The end gets a knurl on it, and then I'm going to cut it down to match the other side at the 4/17. Okay, the piece is rigid enough that I'm able to take some light cuts without a support on the end of it. I really don't want to drill a center hole in it, as this is going to be the finished end of the tool, and I'd rather not have a dimple in that end. But so far it seems to be cutting okay. This should be my last cut. Just want to double check the size before I continue. Still about 4/1000 fat. Let's go a couple more. Okay, that's it. Very good. My taper's gone. I'm at 499, which is good. Now the next operation is going to be to knurl. I gotta replicate this knurl, and it's about 2 inches long. So I'm going to knurl that next, and then I'll cut from the knurl over down to my 4/17. I think that this is a good place to end this part of the video, and we'll finish it up It's probably going to be 2 more parts because I've got more work to do on this, and I still have a couple of pieces to make for it. So that'll be the end of this video.